My name is Cindy Clemishire, and I am going to share my testimony with you. Thank you so much for having me and including me in this opportunity to change our laws and protect children. I grew up in Hominy, Oklahoma, and I was groomed and abused beginning at the age of 12 and continued for 4 more years. I finally told someone when I was 17 years old. Robert Morris was a traveling evangelist at the time from Texas, and later became the founding pastor of Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas. He and his wife and children stayed in our home when he was preaching at my church. They quickly became family friends, people my parents and others in my community trusted. My abuse started on Christmas night, December 25th, 1982, when I was 12 years old. That was the night he made the premeditated decision to violate and defile my innocence and purity. I want to be clear so you understand exactly what we are talking about. This man, trusted by so many as a preacher of God's word, took advantage of a vulnerable child. I was wearing my favorite pink pajamas with bloomers. He touched me in a way that under Oklahoma law is classified as rape by instrumentation. The word rape often brings to mind brutality, but these predators are calculated. They don't just groom the child, they groom the parents and others around them to gain access. The abuse is often subtle, gentle, not to protect the child, but to keep the child confused and quiet. When Robert finished his first assault on me, the very first thing he said to me, and I quote, "You can never tell anyone because it will ruin everything." This continued countless times over the next 4 years until I finally told someone in March of 1987. Sadly, when I did tell, it seemed as though Robert was right. It did ruin everything in my world. Friendships ended, marriages of mutual family friends fell apart. My relationships with others changed instantly. And at just 17 years old, I thought it was all my fault. As I began the lifelong journey of dealing with the aftermath of child sexual abuse, my life seemed to attract more shame, while Robert's attracted more fame. I was in and out of marriages, spent over a decade in counseling, and tried to find healing through various churches and seminars. I was searching for understanding, for peace, and for forgiveness. By 2007, 20 years after the abuse ended, I realized I could potentially receive some form of financial restitution. My attorney sent a demand letter for $50,000, just enough to cover the cost of counseling. His attorney responded not with compassion, but with a letter accusing me, a 12-year-old child at the time, of pursuing him. They countered with $25,000, but only if I signed a non-disclosure agreement. I was 37 years old at that time. I refused. There was no way I would ever sign something stating I could never speak about my own life. Had I agreed to that NDA, Robert would have continued to have power over me. Instead, I kept telling people, I kept seeking truth, and I kept healing. Because I refused to sign that NDA at 37, I am able to sit here today at 55 years old and share my story in hopes of helping others. In March of this year, March 12th of 2025, my abuser was indicted by the Oklahoma grand jury on 5 counts of lewd acts with a child. This is what happens when survivors are not silenced. NDAs may be presented as legal formalities, but in cases like mine, they are tools that continue the abuse. They protect the abuser and keep victims in shame. They prevent the children from being protected, and they make it harder to stop abuse from happening again. The only way to have a chance at ending child sexual abuse is to tell the truth, to speak it, to share it, and to expose it. When NDAs are used to silence victims, we are not protecting families, we are protecting the people destroying them. So I leave you with this. Anyone who doesn't support this bill or waters it down or prevents it from being passed, we should be asking, who are they trying to protect and why?
Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for being here.